I want to apologize for starters for those listening. Because if you can hear the sound of the wind, that's a tower fan from Walmart. It was $20. It was awesome. I genuinely do enjoy it because context is key here to why that's there. So it was either the blasting sound of my air conditioner or that. I chose that. Now, why I have a fan in here is because it is either boiling hot in this apartment, or it's freezing cold. There is never an in-between. It is the most frustrating part of living in this stinking home. It is one of the dumbest parts of this entire apartment. Actually, it's the dumbest thing. Because when I say there's no in-between, I wish I was joking. I wish to God I was joking. And so I have a floor heating system. It's gas heated and stuff like that, which is really cool. But every now and then, like, when this is the worst time of the year to be doing this stuff, because my electric bill goes through the freaking roof because of these air conditioners. But, at the same tier point, they get freezing. This whole apartment gets freezing cold. I'm also beat stinking red. For those watching on YouTube, hi, Mom. Because as a welder, we have to deal with the heat. But we also really can't have air conditioning. But that's okay. Because it's one of those, like, you learn to deal with it kind of things. You learn to deal with it. So... And also, one more thing. Hi, camera. This is delightful. So I've had this USB camera for quite a bit, and I've wanted to get a chance to use it, but I really haven't the opportunity to use it because I've had this green screen also behind me, which is very helpful. Very helpful, might I add. But I have this weird habit that I want to do more, so I've been using the FaceTime camera on my MacBook and then projecting it behind me to the green screen. But I've also wanted to use this camera because this camera's great. It's also nice. It has a pretty good wide shot. And with the powers of StreamYard, my camera view was like the shape of a rectangle for those on YouTube. Now it's a square. And it hit to be a square. Anyway, welcome to the Department of BS from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. My name is Dan Cruz, and it is time to BS. I crack my neck. And there's no crack. No snap, crackle, pop, no popcorn. God dang it. Follow the show wherever you get your podcast. Apple, Spotify, Good Pods, soon to be iHeart Music, iHeart Radio, and Amazon Music. Wow. It was bad. Follow Jack's Twitter, Starblade125. Follow me at StanyaSmooth on Twitter and Instagram. We have a Facebook page now. That's nice. We love these things. Follow the show's Twitter and Instagram and threads at TimeToBS Podcast. At StanyaSmooth on TikTok for clips of the show. And other stuff. Because why not? Because why the heck not? Because, I posted pictures of my fiance. Because, dang it, she's gorgeous. And I like showing her off. Thumbs up. You can't beat that nonsense. Anyway. I've been feeling a little nostalgic lately. My therapist says to not so much dwell on the past, but more accept the fact that it happened. Which is a very interesting segue to 20 years of the Xbox 360. November 22nd, 2005. Which reminds me, if you are older than the Xbox 360, you can like this video. Anyway, so if you are younger than the Xbox 360, please be quiet when it comes to a lot of things. I don't care, but it's whatever.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. Oh, what do you mean I can't like stuff? Meanwhile,
What you have done has made God very unhappy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
listen, it gives me a chance to play some ads and have some fun. I also have a new one. I have this one.
What?
If you're a fan of regular show, you're gonna love that meme. Anyway, so 20 years of the Xbox 360. I remember where I was. I don't remember the year, but I do remember the game I was playing when I first stumbled upon the delightful time that is the Xbox 360. So I had a neighbor back when I was growing up in Blue Point, Long Island, New York. Great small town. It's not the countryside. Shut up. Anyway, so it's a little beach town, and I had this neighbor, my next door neighbor, who was I haven't spoken to him in years, but we were very close. We basically grew up together. And he had an Xbox 360. So we played Halo 3 on the Xbox 360, which was the coolest thing in the world for me at the time. I never really played first-person shooters at that time. And I was a huge Star Wars guy, massive Star Wars guy. Still am, but that's how I fell in love with Halo, which was Star Wars. And it was awesome. So, fast forward sometime later, my family got us an Xbox 360, and I was playing the crap out of Halo Reach during that time. And that was at the peak of Halo Reach's powers. 2010, 2011 around that time. And it was awesome. It was genuinely awesome. And I miss that time of gaming because online gaming was such a huge deal at that time for me. Because, like, yeah, I had the GameCube. I still have the GameCube. I have a Wii still. But online gaming was really opened up. My eyes really opened up to the idea, to the experiences of online gaming with Halo Reach. So Halo holds a special place in my heart for that regard. And like, yeah, I played Fable 2. I played Alan Wake. I played Spyro Dawn of the Dragon. I played Minecraft on the 360 when it first came out at that time. It was awesome. It was a genuinely great experience for me. But I also think of around that time as it was the beginning of the dark ages for gaming, because now for the last 20 years or so, 22 years, gaming has evolved it's gotten worse the last 10 years plus with DLCs, multiple light packs and stuff like that, where the grind to unlock armor in Halo, to unlock certain, armor effects or this gun or whatever, it took work. And I find the same way with, like, laugh at me all you want, Pokemon games. I played the living crap out of Pokemon. The living crap out of it. I still do every now and then. But there was a certain point where it no longer became about the grind. It became about, hey, just beat the game. Just beat the game. Which it stings to say that. But gaming nowadays is no longer about, hey, just have fun. Gaming's supposed to be fun. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the grind of unlocking cool stuff or beating that level or whatever, or beating that mission or whatever. Now it's, hey, how much profit can we turn? How much of a profit can we turn up? Which it's sad, because I understand that most of mainstream media is like that, but it also is a weird punch to the gut of our childhood. Of really, it's like all this stuff was a lie. You know what I mean? Which it stings to say that. It stings. And you don't want to believe it, but you know for a fact it's true. Where it's like all of our childhood our bulls BS or whatever kind of feels like, what's that term? Like an imposter, like it's kind of like imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? It's like you think, or this doesn't feel real in that regard, which it stings to say that. We got to go to our mandatory show advertising break, because as we all know, this crap ain't free. Take it away, Hector. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name NFC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip, using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BELLYUP20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BELLYUP20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of Belly Up Sports.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Use the promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off your order at CanadaDips.com. Thanks to our friends over at Canada for sponsoring this podcast and all other Belly Up podcasts across Belly Up Sports and Belly Up Media. So, Ozzy Osbourne retired, in quotes, from his music career. I don't think there's any debate that says, there's no debate. Black Sabbath, historically speaking, is the greatest metal band in the history of music. Why? They invented metal. Now, they're not my favorite. I was never really a Sabbath guy. Weirdly enough, I grew up with Ozzy's solo work. Weird, right? Anyway, I am a music snob, but I'm also not going to get an entire tattoo sleeve dedicated to, like, Metallica or Led Zeppelin. I definitely would, but I would never do it. I could. I would like to, but I'm not going to, because that completely goes against my belief system of music fandom does not define who you are. Neither does sports fandom. I say that as I have 2 sports tattoos on my biceps and a song lyric on my wrist. Oh, the irony is perfectly sweet. Dan, you're wrong. You're complete and total bull crap. Yeah, I'm well aware of my hypocrisy. I'm well aware of my hypocrisy. And I am proud to admit that. I'm not proud to admit that, but I understand that. And I admit that as a grown-ass man. Grown-ass adult, really, to be honest. So, I'm going off track. Ozzy Osbourne played his final concert or performance in Birmingham, United Kingdom. It's kind of a weird somber note, because Ozzy he's got to be 80. He's got to be, quick Google search. Ozzy Osbourne has got to be at least in his 80s. Ozzy Osbourne. 76. Wow. That's crazy. No way. No way he's 76. December 3rd, 1948. Wow. That's insane. So yeah, Ozzy retired from his music career. I guess this is the third and final time. They say third time's a charm, or whatever the heck you want to call it. But you know, Black Sabbath to me is like the Beatles. I'm not going to ignore their place in music history. Just not. You can't. The Beatles are obviously the most influential rock band in the history of foreverdom. Like, because at the time, and you know, the 50s and the 60s, the British invasion, if you want to go to music lore, like, was the boom of rock and roll was assisted by the Beatles in the 50s and 60s at that time, and the 70s too. Black Sabbath invented metal. There's no question about that. Black Sabbath are the kings of metal. Prince of Darkness is Ozzy Osbourne, no questions asked. Seeing that performance a little bit, I wasn't there. Do you expect me to go to the UK right now to go see a concert? I totally would, but I wouldn't. But I couldn't force myself to do it. That sounds expensive. I wonder how much those tickets were. I don't know. I can't force myself to ask them. I can't force myself to answer those questions because I'm not going to Google that. I'm too lazy to Google that stuff. Anyway. So, Ozzy retired. Third time. 3 farewell tours later, he is retired. And it made me sad watching that performance because his final song was Mama, I'm Coming Home, and it sounded awful. But because I'm also putting in perspective, this guy drugged himself like crazy. But also, he's 76 years old. And he did that concert from a chair. It's kind of like, just give it up, dude. It's like Ric Flair's retirement. The question is, which one? Anyway. Oh, God.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah. Still, I'll listen to Black Sabbath whenever I have them on my playlist and they just pop up. I'm just like, yeah, sure, Black Sabbath, cool, let's go. Let's have some fun. I won't go out of my way to listen to, like, other shit. Was it, shut up! No! Shut up, phone! Oh my god. Anyway, phone's going away. But this whole episode is making me feel somber and nostalgic. God, I hate that. I don't like that feeling. You guys like that feeling? I don't like that feeling at all. Makes me feel sad. Questioning my life decisions. I gotta move on from this segment. I gotta move on. What are the odds of a Ronald Acuna trade? For some reason, Seattle Sports Radio was like, hey, could the Mariners do it? Let's be honest here. The Seattle Mariners, they very could easily do this trade. But if you are a Mariners fan, you know that ownership will not do this trade. The team itself very well can do this trade. Ownership will not do it. Why? Because John Stanton is an effing cheapskate. He will not spend money at all. John Stanton has pockets. Okay? John Stanton, the owner of the Mariners, has literal pockets of money. Swear on my life. This dude's rich. Duh, he owns a baseball team. But he will not spend it. When the Mariners are right there. They were at first place for majority of the season so far. He won't spend money. But what would it take? 5 of your top 9 prospects and probably a starting pitcher. That's what it'd take. You know what? Emerson Hancock. Why the heck not? Yes, that is a real name. Emerson Hancock. Emerson Hancock is a real name. Hey, dirty minds. Settle down, you. Oh, I almost forgot. What time is it? What time is it, ladies and gentlemen? Why, it is ring time. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for our weekly segment of wrestling called Ring Time. Short one. This is going to be really short. Got two topics. So, I've been asked my wrestling opinion on a couple things. One of those opinions is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins... There are two ways to judge Seth Rollins' career. There's two ways to judge it. One is, are we talking Seth Rollins pre-Rumble win in 2019? Or are we talking post-Rumble win 2019 going forward? Like, is it 2019 backwards or 2019 forwards? Because 2019, like, pre-ACL was fantastic. That was after he tore his ACL. Anyway, so pre-ACL, Seth Rollins was one of the greatest in-ring performers I have ever seen. He's a natural heel. He's fantastic on the mic when he's a heel. But then it's weird because you put Seth Rollins in the world title picture, and he's like, why do I feel like it's weird because the IWC wants to push Seth Rollins to the moon all the time, but then when he finally gets to said moon, they want him off the moon. You know what I mean? It's the most infuriating crap in the world because this guy, including his time in Ring of Honor as Tyler Black, is a 6-time world champion, 2-time Money in the Bank winner, multiple-time U.S. and Intercontinental champion and tag team champion, Royal Rumble winner, like Elimination Chamber winner, I think he was. I'm not sure, but listen, Seth Rollins is one of the best performers. He's going in the Hall of Fame, whether it's a headliner or not. He's going in the Hall of Fame. No questions asked. However, it seems like whenever Seth Rollins is in the world title picture, it kind of feels like you weirdly shouldn't be here because it kind of feels uncomfortable. I don't know why that is. It's the most confusing crap in the world. Because, again, Seth Rollins, out of all the Shield members, he probably is the best of all three of them. Between Roman, Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, and Seth. He's probably the best one. Now, obviously up for debate because of the Roman Reigns Tribal Chief run. But, whatever. I don't know. It just kind of feels like that Seth Rollins, the last 5 years, been like, I want a wire here. You're just there. And we're going to roll with it because why not? This beard is really nice too. Can confirm. Next question. Where does John Cena's heel turn rank amongst the all-time greats? This is an easy one. Number 2. Next. Just kidding. So, I think it's a lot easier to create a Mount Rushmore of heel turns than it is to create a top 5 or a top 10. Actually, it's probably easier to make a top 5 than it's a top 10. Because that's easy. Top 5, honest to God opinion. Hogan, 96, when he formed the NWO. Cena's heel turn because of the magnitude of it. However, if Cena's heel turn happened 10, 15 years ago, that would be number one. Just an opinion. Doesn't make me right in any way, shape, or form. I look exhausted. Anyway. But Shawn Michaels turning on Marty Jannetty in the 80s. That's probably 3. And then Andre the Giant turning on the aforementioned Hulk Hogan for WrestleMania 3 in 1988. I want to say 1988. My wrestling history is weird, but my brain's weird with wrestling history. But yeah, 1988. Thank you. So, thank you, brain. Appreciate it. No problem, dude. Anyway, number 5, you can make a great argument for Seth Rollins throwing on the Shield. Great argument for that. But Cena's heel turn, understand how massive this was. I don't think people really do get how big this of a deal this was. The idea of Cena turning heel was unthinkable from 2010 to 2020. Unthinkable. For 10 years in WWE, Cena was, unheel turnable, if that's even a phrase. Anyway, he was impossible to turn heel. You couldn't do it. And the fact that at the end of his career, they managed to turn him heel, execution, brilliant. Follow-up, not so much. If you watch WWE the last 6 months, you get what I mean. But the execution of it, top-notch, brilliant. Love it. Loved it. I love the whole thing. So, number 2 is Cena. It's probably where I rank him on the all-time greatest heel turns. Hogan's 1. It's just the magnitude of Hogan turning heel helped assist the saving of professional wrestling into the late 90s. Just flat out the truth. Stone Cold did help with that too, but the NWO and the Monday Night Wars just it's too big to not be number 1. Too big to not be number 1. We also have a returning segment. We got to go to film school, ladies and gentlemen. This week's edition of Film School is James Gunn's Superman. It's not even out yet. Is it? To the internet. James Gunn's Superman. When does it get released? Oh, in 3 days. At the time of this recording. $225 million budget. Oh, boy. James Gunn Super. There it is. There it is. Oh, boy. We're going to go to Reddit. This is a great idea. So let's understand this. Let's understand this where we're coming from here. I have hopes for this movie. Not because of the fact that it's a James Gunn film who has shown to be a really good director when it comes to Superman films. Don't believe me? Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyway, I digress. What pissed me off a little bit, how do I keep this not only as PG as possible, but as family friendly as possible? What I want to say, I'm not going to say. What I will end up saying is this. This stupid world has gotten too effing divided over politics and everything else. Because it all comes down to if you're a good person or not is who the heck you voted for. Which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's the dumbest thing in the world. I'm not going to repeat the tweet. I don't want to. Not because of I can't, but it's because I choose not to. What gives me hope of this film is that, for God's sakes, it looks good. It actually looks good. But, you can find it. You can find the tweet, ladies and gentlemen. But it's not even a matter of fact of like, this is not even a matter of fact of, because if I voted, which I don't, but I don't care. But you're putting politics in movies. Well, it happens all the time. Yeah, but like it's more prevalent than ever that nowadays everything is designed by politics. Don't believe me? Look at the entire National Football League the past 5 years. The end racism art that was put on the end zones, that crap. When it's like, it's not hard to be a good person. It's really not. It's also easier to be a piece of garbage, but I digress. It's not hard to be a good freaking person. But, like, yes, we know the origin story of Superman. He is an alien. He is an alien from Krypton. Another planet. Okay? Whose planet blew up, which we later find out it's from Brainiac, but regardless. Comic book nerd. I am a weird comic book nerd. It's the strangest thing. You would never expect it out of me. I was a big comic book guy growing up. I had stacks of comic books. The fact that these Nimrods are making this about, immigration amidst everything going on in the world is the stupidest thing you could have done. But at the same point, it's not my movie. I'll watch it. I don't care because I love Superman. I love Superman. I love DC Comics. I genuinely enjoy DC Comics. I think this might be a good film. How would I not? How would I know? I gotta see it. But my whole point is that these idiots, not just in filmmaking, but across everywhere, are digging politics into everything. I saw a tweet maybe a month or so ago about like SpongeBob and the characters and their political beliefs. And I'm like, are you actually joking? Going back to the earlier discussion of the Xbox 360, if the Xbox 360 is older than you, shut the actual hell up. Shut the hell up. If the Nintendo GameCube is older than you, shut up even further. Please. Oh, you can turn your tweets off. It's everywhere. It's not just on Twitter. It is everywhere. YouTube, TikTok. TikTok is worse, but it's gotten a little better. Instagram. Instagram's terrible. Facebook. Oh my God. Like, everyone's got an opinion on something. On something that, honestly, I don't even care. I've gotten to the point where, like, I just don't care. I sound angry. I don't care. Oh, God. Enough. I sound like an angry old man, but, like, come on. Anyway, we got to close out the shop with a couple more things. We have to go to the NFC South preview for the Time to BS NFL preview series. We start things off with the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans, I don't know what to make of you. I think if you had Derek Carr still, you'd be fine. You'd probably win this division. That's how weirdly high I'm at on the Saints. It's kind of weird because New Orleans didn't really, how would I put this, change a whole lot with the exception of the head coach and the quarterback. They really didn't change a whole. Hey, they brought Brandon Cooks back. Delightful. Golf clap. That sounded way too seductive.
What you have done has made God very unhappy.
Anyway, I think the Saints finished with a 6-11 record. This is going to be really quick because it's also 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to go to bed. Tampa Bay, I do not think you win this division. Take a wild guess to who I think wins the NFC South. I don't know why. First of all, Tampa's going to win 10 games. It's not the Falcons. It's not. I'm sorry. It's Carolina. Boo. Boo.
What the hell was that?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Hear me out. Hear me out. I think the Panthers win the NFC South because their offense looks better. Their offense looks better, and their defense is going to get better. How much better? We don't know. Now, at the same point, they did trade Brian Burns away last offseason. That doesn't help. It also doesn't help that your GM prior was a effing moron, Scott Fitterer. But I don't know. It's just this. I get this weird hype around the Panthers. I'm like, maybe Bryce Young takes that third-year step, and you go, okay, maybe we see this kid finally take off. Finally, we see this kid take off. Anyway, we got to go to a new segment I like to call the BS of the week.
Bullshit!
It sounds great on the StreamYard. I gotta play it again. I'm sorry, I gotta play it again.
Bullshit!
Anyway, this week's edition of BS of the Week is P. Diddy, because why the heck not? Moral of the story, if you get yourself into some serious legal BS, have some really good lawyers or a crap load of money, because even you can get away with human trafficking charges. 4 of them, might have had. How? Literally how? Well, we know why. We know why. Because they're using it to hunt a bigger fish. Oh, that's some BS. I texted John this when these cases were filed. P. Diddy was found not guilty. And I said, if you and I did this, there's no question we would not see the light of day for 25 to life. We would not see the light of day for life. Hell, we may even see the death penalty. Unlikely in the state of New York. But regardless, it could happen. Moral of the story, if you find yourself to be in these, how would I put this? If you find yourself to be accused of these certain charges, moral of the story, have a crap load of money, and stupid good lawyers.
Bullshit!
Ladies and gentlemen, that was this week's edition of BS of the Week. So, final thoughts? I got nothing. I literally have nothing. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan Kurz. I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. And I will see you all in this life, and most certainly the next one. Cheers, everyone.